So, I figured I'd do a review on the book of Boba Fett. So the episode opens with Boba. He's killed Bib Fortuna, okay, who used to be Jabba the Hutt's right-hand man. He's taken over Jabba's organization on Tatooine, okay. And now people are coming there paying their respects, giving him money, paying tribute. So the mayor's aide comes there. And he says, well, I'm sorry, the mayor can't make it. He gives his heartfelt welcome and his regrets that he cannot be here, all right? Then the mayor's aide turns around and says he wants Boba Fett to pay him tribute. So basically, he's challenging Boba Fett and disrespecting him at the same time. They basically tell him to get lost, kick rocks, and tell him, hey, the only tribute we're going to give you is the gift of leave, okay? We're not going to hurt you. And he makes a veiled threat and says, well, I don't know. I'm fine with that, but the mayor may not see it that way. I get the feeling that there's more to this mayor's aid than what they're showing. I get the feeling that that perhaps he's lying, okay? Perhaps he came here on his own, or he's trying to set Boba Fett and the mayor against each other. I feel like this character is going to be, down the road, you're going to find out that this character is also stabbing the mayor in the back as well. I don't know. But I feel like there's more to this character than meets the eye. Okay. Now, you get a flashback. It shifts to a flashback. And there's Boba Fett. He's up in the Sarlacc pit's stomach. Okay. If you watched Return of the Jedi, you know how he got down there. The Luke Skywalker kicked his butt and put him down there. Okay. So he's in this creature's stomach. And, of course, there's no air there. For what I understand about the human stomach, or a person's stomach, there's no air there. And pretty much they let you know that there's no air there because there's a stormtrooper's body in there. He pulls out the section, I guess with the breathing tube, and sticks it in his suit to give himself air. Now, one other interesting thing. Stomachs are actually full of hydrochloric acid. Now, if you know anything about hydrochloric acid, that type of acid is in certain cleaning products and other products. And people get burned by that. So that acid creates heat. The human body has hydrochloric acid as well, okay? Your stomach has a special lining so it does not burn you. Now, considering how big the Sarlacc monster, which I believe that's what it was called, how big that monster is, especially when you see Boba Fett is inside this thing's body, inside its stomach, you have to assume it also has hydrochloric acid in there. And he's not just having an issue from not having air, but that acid is also probably creating extreme heat, okay? So he's probably, while the acid is trying to eat through his armor, which it can't because the Mandalorians have such powerful armor resistant to damage, okay? The Beskar Gam, or whatever they call it. What about the heat? Because that hydrochloric acid would probably be creating extreme heat. So he probably was cooking inside this thing's stomach. Now, he takes his flamethrower and burns his way out. Personally, I like it in EU. I believe he used a thermal grenade to blow his way out. I prefer that. So now, he climbs up out of the monster's belly. At this point, he's exhausted. He falls. He passes out in the desert. Some little punk Jawas come there, and they strip this dude and take all his armor. I was a little surprised by how easy it was to take his armor off like that. Whatever. Okay. Then while he's sitting there laid out on the ground, some Tusken Raiders come over there, and they take him as a slave. And they start beating the brakes off him. They spend the rest of the episode beating the snot out of his face, making him do work for them, beating the crap out of him over and over. Okay. He actually tries to escape. And he goes to help this other fool who has a big mouth starts screaming and talking loud. So they wake up and they figure out, hey, something's going on. So they start chasing him. And he gets beat up by a single Tusken Raider, which appears to maybe be a female. You really can't tell. I can't tell. All right. So now we kind of go back to the present. And he's going around to different places, checking out some of his new acquisitions. Okay. They're giving him money, telling him, blah, blah, blah. He's just introducing himself as a new head big dog. Okay. Now, his assistant, Fennec Shand, I believe. And forgive me if I mangle some of these names, man. I'm not good with names at times. She basically tells him, look, dude, you're the big dog here. And there's certain practices that these people follow. Like, she tells him earlier on when that the mayor's aide was being disrespectful, Jabba would have killed him, okay? Also, when Jabba went around, they carried him on a litter. And she's giving this dude good advice. He doesn't want to doesn't want to listen to that advice. He wants to earn people's respect, which is an interesting idea. But of course, I'm guessing that earlier on, by him not ruling with through fear and being ruthless, that's going to invite some challenges. Okay, so they leave their little casino club thing and they get attacked by some mercenaries. These dudes with these energy shields. Of course, they end up beating these guys. And they beat these guys with the help of these two, I think, Gamoran guards that was left over from Jabba's time, who was also loyal to Bib Fortuna. Okay. There's one earlier scene that shows them being brought to Boba Fett, and this little robot is telling him that, hey, these dudes here, they fought to the bitter end. They were loyal to Bib Fortuna and Fat Boy, Jabba. And you want us to kill him? He says, no. Will you two be loyal to me? Now, these dudes bust out and they start beating the crap out of these guys with energy shields, okay? Because these dudes' energy shields have surrounded Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, and they can't do anything. That's a nice little scene. Boba gets hurt. He gets injured. She runs up on the rooftops, and she's doing some little cool parkour, I think what they call it, parkour moves, parkour, whatever. Jumping over stuff, running up things. She beats these two guys up and brings them back for interrogation. Now, they take Boba back to his back to pod, and it goes back to a flashback. And there, you see him getting smacked around some more by the Tusken Raiders. They spend a whole episode kicking his butt, making him dig up these pods. I guess these plants, they have some type of milk in it or something. That's how they survive, by drinking it. Now, this is a cool scene here where they're digging, and they dig up this big monster with 4 arms that looks like a cooler kind of like Goro's cousin, I guess, from Mortal Kombat. Maybe a cooler version of Goro. One of the slaves gets killed, and it attacks this little Tusken child. Boba Fett uses a chain or whatever rope they have him tied up, and he strangles the thing, and he gains the little boy's respect, and he goes back to the village, and he tells them that Boba Fett, hey, saved my life. So he gains their respect, and that's kind of how the episode ends. So let me give you my pros and cons about the episode. Some people have complained about it. They said it was crap. He was a wimp and a punk. And he got beat up a lot. I actually enjoyed the episode. Yes, he got beat up. Here's the thing. The dude was injured. He's inside this monster's belly for how long? He's low on oxygen. And like I said before, that monster's stomach had to be full of acid. Okay. It's producing heat. He's probably being cooked in there. Okay. He gets out of the thing's stomach and he's laying in a hot desert for how long? They steal his armor. The Tusken Raiders beat the crap out of him. So Yes, he got beat up. He was injured. Okay. Then there's one scene when he tried to escape that a lot of dudes didn't like. And they say he gets beat up by a female Tusken Raider. The thing is, you can't really tell if that's a female. I'm assuming it's a female. That didn't really bother me. Didn't really bother me all that much because by that point, he was already severely injured and weak. So he could beat anybody as far as I'm concerned. Any of them should have been able to beat him easily. He was weak and injured. So that, like I said, that didn't bother me. The problem is that we've got to the point in our society with all this woke nonsense where a lot of people feel the need to highlight a woman being able to beat a man in a conflict. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some women that can beat a man. I've seen women beat a few dudes in fights. Not on average, though. On average, the average man is stronger than the average woman. However, they feel the need to highlight that, so a lot of people are overly sensitive to it, which I understand. Also, the CGI. Most of the CGI was pretty good, but weirdly enough, there's some scenes in his flashbacks where he's out there in the desert areas with the Tusken Raiders. For some reason, the scenes at night look really bad. In the daytime, they're fine, but at night, they look horrible. They look like a worse than a PlayStation 3 video game. So I don't know what happened with that or who let that go or whatever. They looked really bad. Beyond that, there really isn't not a lot in the episode that I dislike. I felt like the episode actually did a good job setting stuff up. Here's the thing, man. With a lot of TV series, the first episode usually is not that great. It's usually the first episode setting stuff up. So I give this episode a pass. I think this episode did its job. It showed you what happened with this guy, where he's at, what's going on, what the stakes are. It did its job. Yeah, I don't really know what the big issue was that a lot of people had or what they expected with this episode. I felt like the episode did what it needed to do. It wasn't a great episode, the best episode ever, but it was the first episode. I thought it was a solid episode and actually gave me hope going forward that this is going to be a very good series. I know some people also complain about the flashbacks. You know, dude, I don't know. I like flashbacks. I like flashbacks, especially if they're showing something interesting to the story and moving the story forward. His flashbacks moved the story forward. I don't know. I don't know. I guess they could have done the show and just started him out with the whole thing with the Tusken Raiders and then did a separate episode showing when he killed, Bib Fortuna or whatever. But I don't know. I thought it worked fine. I don't really see why the flashbacks would be all that hard to understand. Cause you any big problems. I thought it was a solid episode. I'm actually looking forward to episode number 2.